What?
Vitamin authentication. Look, I have one right here. Well, here, I'll let you hold it. Would you like to hold it?
I'll hold it.
Okay. So, this...
You guys see it?
This pill has a small chip inside of it with a switch. It also has what amounts to an inside-out potato battery. When you swallow it, the acids in your stomach serve as the electrolyte.
That's what they do.
And they power it up, and the switch goes on and off. And it creates an 18-bit ECG-like signal in your body, and essentially your entire body becomes your authentication token. Yes, this is true. Okay?
Okay, but...
Okay, so wait. So it's really true. So what this means is that becomes my first superpower. I really want this superpower. It means that my arms are like wires, my hands are like alligator clips. When I touch my phone, my computer, my door, my car, I'm authenticated in. First superpower. Like, I want that.
So we're not shipping that right away.
Yeah, no. We're not shipping that right away. But it sounds like...
This is FDA cleared?
So here's the thing. This is not science fiction. This pill was actually made by a company called Proteus. And they've developed it for medical applications. That pill has been CE stamped and cleared by the FDA. You can take 30 of those per day for the rest of your life.
And then what happens? Does your heart
Nothing.
beat change? Does your...
We can just tell that
you-
you've taken the pill. I mean, the medical
Yeah.
application...
Does Google now know everything I do and everywhere I go? Because, let's face it,
Here,
we like you guys, but you're from Google.
Hi guys, it's Femi here. Today is going to be part 2 of my "You're being programmed for an alien invasion and AI takeover" video. So we see here that a few days ago 2 reports came out. One was about UFOs and the second one was about life on Venus. And I made a community post about that, which you can check out here on my community wall. So like I said in my previous videos, there's been more and more articles coming out about aliens or UFOs or life on other planets and stuff like that, and none of this is by accident. None of this is a coincidence. And recently, like about a week ago, a video was released from NASA about an interview with this scientist concerning her thoughts and ideas about intelligence on other planets. And what I found very interesting about the interview is that she herself revealed the whole agenda. Like she revealed their belief system, in that they believe that these alien life forms are quote unquote smarter than us, more intelligent, more advanced, more evolved. And she made that connection with artificial intelligence and started talking about how artificial intelligence will evolve and be smarter than us, and the only way for us to match up with artificial intelligence is to merge with it, to have chips in our brains, or to evolve ourselves with AI. So I just found the interview very, very telling, and I'm going to show you guys the interview, but just like key parts, because I don't want to get blocked for playing the full podcast. It's a full podcast, but it wasn't posted on YouTube. I had to go and look for the full podcast. So this is the video, guys. As you can see, the title here, Gravity Assist: Is Artificial Intelligence the Future of Life? Somewhere out there, life may have evolved to become as smart or even much smarter than us, and the next step in that ladder may be quote-unquote post-biological, argues Susan Schneider, the Baruch S. Bloomberg NASA Library of Congress Chair in Astrobiology, Exploration and Scientific Innovation. Wow, that is a mouthful. Advanced life may be entirely based on microchips and silicon, using the tools of artificial intelligence instead of brains.
In our search for life, particularly here in the solar system, we think we'll find microbial life first. But beyond that, intelligent life, well out into the galaxy, what are we going to find? What would it look like?
They may be so different from us that they're unrecognizable.
Hi, I'm Jim Green, Chief Scientist at NASA, and this is Gravity Assist. On this season of Gravity Assist, we're looking for life beyond Earth.
I'm here with Dr. Susan Schneider, and she is the NASA Bloomberg Chair at the Library of Congress and the William Dietrich Chair, Distinguished Professor at Florida Atlantic University. So today we're going to talk about looking for life beyond Earth and what it might be like. Welcome, Susan, to Gravity Assist.
Hi, Jim. It's nice to meet you and be on your show.
Well, you know, the NASA Astrobiology Chair at the Library of Congress is really a neat position. What are you working on?
Oh, so many things. I'm writing a book on the future of intelligence right now, and I'm asking the question, what sort of system will have the greatest capacity to be intelligent, the most intelligent system? So I'm kind of worried, just looking here on Earth, about whether humans could keep up with AI.
So, Susan, what is artificial intelligence?
So AI is all around us. It's there when you're doing a Google search. It's there when you're talking to Siri, and it's getting smarter all the time. So you might think AI is like a robot, but that's only one type of artificial intelligence. I like to think of AI as any sort of intelligent algorithm.
So what do you think artificial intelligence has to do in the search for life?
Well, we might use our AIs to make predictions, for example. So we might find information about exoplanets from, our computers. But what I focus on is a little different. I actually focus on the possibility that life forms out there, should there be any, that survive their technological maturity, may actually develop their own artificial intelligences. And I argue in a recent book called Artificial You that the greatest sorts of intelligences, whether they be in Earth's future or out somewhere on other planets, would be artificial intelligences. I actually think that we could augment the brain to become far more intelligent than we are right now. And I also think that artificial intelligence could eventually outthink us. Well, when you were saying that about what NASA would like, I was thinking, well, haven't you all seen 2001? Right? I mean, HAL was iconic. And here on Earth, there's something called the control problem, right? Mm-hmm. So people like Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Nick Bostrom, I mean, the list is really, really long. The late Stephen Hawking. We're all very, very worried about how to control artificial intelligence that reaches a sort of human level and then surpasses us, becoming what they call super intelligent, which is by definition a hypothetical form of intelligence which outthinks humans in every dimension, social reasoning, mathematical skills, and more. And so until we get a handle on the control problem, I think we have to bear in mind that, if we use too general of AIs, too sophisticated AIs, we have to make sure we do so safely, whether it be here on Earth or in outer space. And of course, in outer space, you also have that awful problem of when something breaks, who knows what kind of intelligences will be out there. But I do think that over time, they will outpace us.
What do you think life beyond Earth would be, intelligent life? What should we expect? If we're moving into an AI realm, do we expect them to do that too?
I think so. And I call it the post-biological approach in astrobiology. We all understand that if and when NASA finds life, it will probably be microbial. But what I am saying is that if we're getting to the point we're flipping on our own computers, and this is still pretty early in our own technological evolution, really. I mean, just think, it seemed like just yesterday when we had the television or the automobile or the airplane, and now look where we are. So it may be only a blink of an eye in cosmic time, really, before we start enhancing our own intelligence and becoming partly, if not fully, synthetic ourselves. It could be that the most intelligent civilizations out there are, in fact, post-biological. So they grew out of originally biological civilizations like ourselves, and they're vastly smarter than us. In fact, they may be so different from us that they're unrecognizable.
Then why haven't we been contacted yet?
Well,
where are they? As Fermi used to say, to his colleagues.
Yeah. I mean, where are they? I mean, how can one not ask that question and be interested? Everybody's interested. Well, I liked Seth Shostak's answer. It was like, well, do we really get interested in our goldfish? I mean, the intellectual gap between us and a civilization on the order of 50,000 years older than us, and that is, now no longer biological even, is going to be huge. So why would they find us interesting? And, I also say, well, being a Trekkie, like I imagine lots of your listeners are, I mean, they may have a prime directive against bothering such low-level species. And who knows, maybe they're waiting for us to evolve into something else.
That. Well, what's your favorite science fiction work and why?
Oh, tough one. Oh, so, I mean, I definitely like Contact. I have to tell you, I really liked the film Interstellar. So I am a big fan of film. Maybe it's because I don't really have time to read science fiction very much anymore. But Interstellar, which Kip Thorne, the physicist, helped with, I mean, that was terrific. Even the soundtrack was great, right? But in terms of reading, I love classic works of science fiction, Arthur C. Clarke, Isaac Asimov. I'm also a fan of Greg Egan's short stories because he writes about brain chips and things like that.
Well, do you think science fiction is important for us, in shaping our thinking about our future in space?
I really do. It's funny because I notice I'm very interdisciplinary. So I move from one field to the next, from neuroethics to AI to astrobiology, philosophy of mind, and the lingua franca seems to be science fiction. And I notice that's what gets so many of us conceptualizing the future. And I was going to say for better or worse, but I really think it's clearly for the better. I mean, the range of science fiction, I mean, there's cyberpunk, there's traditional like civilization and empire type of science fiction. I mean, there's just so much there.
Well, we are looking, NASA is looking for life in our solar system. As you say, it's probably going to be microbial.
Oh, yeah.
And probably under the surface in particular, whether it's under an ice shell or it's under the crust of Mars. But those are really prime candidates to be looking for. But in reality, do you think society is ready for the announcement that we have found life beyond Earth?
I think society's so distracted right now that anything can happen. But I think it's ready, and I think it's coming in the microbial case. And it would be sad if it flew under the radar right now with all that's going on in the world. It would be really sad because it's so significant. And it used to bother me so much when I was talking to reporters about, you know, my project for NASA on post-biological intelligence, because I always said to them, you know what's really interesting, even more interesting than this, is the search for microbial life. I mean, that search is amazing, and it's going to teach us so much. I mean, you know, there's the possibility that life is related. There are deep philosophical questions about the origin of life. He said, what it's like to be an extraterrestrial. And I couldn't believe I got that kind of invitation. And of course, you can't really answer the question, what is it like to be an extraterrestrial? Because we don't even know if they exist. But of course, that led me on my little path in astrobiology to arguing that the smartest aliens will be post-biological. I argue that AI may not be conscious. So it may be like nothing to be an extraterrestrial AI.
Also, guys, today I saw a cluster of UFOs, and I captured them today, 20th of September at 4:57 p.m. So I'll show you guys the video clip, and I was really struggling to capture them because it started out as one UFO just floating by. I was like, oh, it's just one, there's no need for me to even record it because I'd already recorded and uploaded a similar UFO video there. So but when the cluster suddenly appeared, like maybe 10 minutes later or so, it was like a lot of them, and they were circling in one location, and they were glowy. They had a haze, like a glowy haze around them. And then they started to move to my right, and one suddenly started to speed, like one UFO out of the cluster started to speed forwards, and I was really struggling to capture them. But I thought they didn't show up in the video, but when I watched it back, I saw that some of them showed up. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Guys, look. There are orbs floating around in the sky. Can you guys see that? Orbs. Look, they keep appearing and disappearing. I hope you guys can see. Okay, these are definitely UFOs. They are circling and they are like illuminated, and there's a haze around them. I hope you guys can see. And there's like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They were circling and now they're moving to the right. I don't know if you guys can see. These are definitely UFOs. I don't know if you can actually see them though. I hope you can. Ew. Actually, the blood of Jesus. Look. Can you guys see them here? Now, look. One is suddenly flying very fast and wow. Look. I hope you guys can see them.
So what are the chances of us being the only kids on the block? It would be bizarre if we're the only ones.
Are we alone? No.
After thousands of years thinking that we are unique, scientists are making some astonishing discoveries here on Earth, in our solar system, and in deep space. Some scientists now believe that we are just a few years away from our first contact.
We'll know we're not alone between the year 2020 and the year 2025. We'll know we're not alone between the year 2020 and the year 2025. This will be one of the biggest, if not the biggest story of all time.
So just want to reiterate that these so-called UFOs and alien life forms and everything, it's demonic manifestation, and it's very serious. Like, it's nothing to joke with. And you have all these scientists and astrobiologists and what have you, so-called studying all these life forms and, you know, propagating the idea that aliens exist, and if they exist, they are post-biological and they are super intelligent. They just suddenly assume that they are super intelligent, which is really annoying. Like, what is the basis for that? If they haven't come in contact with them to study them, how do they just assume that they are super intelligent? No, because everything is propaganda. So when the aliens are revealed, and you yourself, you see that these demons are like teleporting, and these demons they have better technology, you've already been conditioned to believe, oh, they're just, you know, more evolved, they're just faster, they're just smarter, have greater technology. No, it's all demonic. It's all demonic, and demonic powers, lying signs and wonders, and it's all for this end times deception.
The Skinwalker story comes to the attention of the Defense Intelligence Agency. The scientist who sees it, he goes to Bigelow, they go visit the property. He has an experience. Something appears inside a house that only he can see. He doesn't say anything about it. He goes back to Washington, meets with Harry Reid in the Capitol and 2 other U.S. senators. He presents them a study of UFOs and related phenomena, not just like ATIP, looking at flying saucers that encounter U.S. military, but something more expansive. They put out a contract. Bigelow creates an organization called BASS, puts together a team of experts, 50 or 60 employees, looking at whether there are connections between flying saucers, possible aliens, and all these other different phenomena. The program goes on for a couple of years and somebody yanks the funding. The reason that the DIA suddenly became worried about all this weirdness that was being reported at Skinwalkers, because they thought it was demonic. And they thought we might be invoking Satan in here. These were fundamentalist Christians in the Pentagon who pulled the money because they thought it was the devil.
They pulled the money because they thought it was the devil. You see, the Bible talks about this end times deception, where demonic entities will trick mankind into believing that they are space aliens coming down upon the earth. Luke 21:26, quote, "Men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken." Sounds a lot like an alien invasion, doesn't it? Now let's take a look at some clips of some prominent Christian researchers and authors and see what they have to say about this matter.
But I don't believe that there's life elsewhere in the universe. That was. I don't think we've got brothers and sisters on some other planet someplace. I don't hold to that view at all. What's interesting is with the abduction phenomena, it parallels what we see in Scripture. It really does. If these are fallen angels, they have the same properties and the same abilities as the good angels have. And so we see when Peter is in the jail cell, chained to a wall, a good angel appears to him. Peter looks around. He's not sure if he's asleep or awake. Mind fog. Angel tells him to get up. Peter gets up. His chains fall off of him. Manipulation of space, time, and matter. The jail cell opens up by itself. There's no lock. There's a lock, but there's no key to that. Jail cell opens up. Peter finds himself in the hallway. All the Roman guards are switched off. They're asleep. Roman guards who fall asleep fall on their own swords the next day. Thank you. So Roman guards don't fall asleep. They go outside to the courtyard. The gateway opens up by itself, the huge prison gate. They walk a little bit. The angel disappears. That is exactly the same type of circumstances and dynamics that we see in the alien abduction phenomena. People are switched off, matter is floating through walls, floating through this. It's the same deal. The fallen angels are doing the same stuff that the good angels do, only for very nefarious means. And this abduction phenomena, I've interviewed Dr. Jacobs, and it's nefarious. The ending of this thing, I believe, is incredibly malevolent, very nefarious. It's not good for human beings at all. And I think, as Jacobs believes also, that this abduction phenomena and so-called subsequent breeding program has reached its conclusion.
I think they're real. I think they're absolutely real, and I think that they are a major deception, a major part of the deception, though. In the end days, I think that we're going to see out of the skies, we're going to see, because that's where the scripture locates what in the Greek is called cosmic crowders, archon. These beings are there. And part of end-time deception, you see the numbers just off the charts nowadays. So I think they are absolutely real. They are there. They're not what the world thinks they are. When Jesus said that in my Father's house there are many realms, many rooms, that's the word he used. So I think it is dimensional. Whether it's layered or just multi, that I don't know. But I think there's realms different than ours, and they're just beyond us or around us. But I think that they're realities also. And I think that's where we're seeing things coming through to our side from those other realms. We need to understand them as the Spirit of God reveals them in the original Greek, cosmic crowder, archon, exousia. These beings were different in species or type. I mean, they're all the same in nature, but they are huge in the sense of, in comparison to humanity. They're a superhuman. They're beyond us. So when I think in terms of us contacting them, like we deal with deliverance, there has to be a doorway for them to get over. If this is kind of the wall between the worlds here, and they're wanting to get over, and biblically we know this in dealing with deliverance, they want to get over to this side. There's no question. So the issue is, how do they come through the barrier? How do they come physically through, or to where they're manifesting through? So I believe that means there has to be a gateway, doorway, portal. A Greek word used is topon, a legal access, but the idea also of a way. So I think that on this side of the fence, if we have learned what I believe would be given by them occult means, whether that's psychic meditations, ritual summonings, sacred tones, whatever the method in calling across through this barrier, that is a call, that is a summoning. We as believers in Christ, we call on the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. We read in Psalm 68, summon your power, O God. So the laws of engagement are the same when it comes to the dark side. Now here's the biggest issue I have with the dark side. It's all absolutely real. They're more than they're more than we can even imagine. But the other Greek word I want to always emphasize is metaskizmazo. The word that says when Satan's able to masquerade, transfigure as an angel of light, that's the physics of the dark side. Literally to be able to morph their appearance without changing their nature.
Well, UFOs are obviously unidentified flying objects. Some are man-made, some are from some other source. The popular concept is that a UFO is an alien spacecraft piloted by aliens from some other world, some other star system. I personally don't believe that, having worked in a project with Dr. Teller, Edward Teller. The UFOs we're seeing today are primarily all satanic vehicles, and we have built a number of these underground and underwater, undersea bases for these fallen ones, and we were getting our technology from them, and we were letting them do genetic experiments on humans and animals here. In the late 70s, just after I left the organization, in the late 70s, we were kicked out. Humans were kicked out of our own bases by these alleged aliens. They had us build infrastructure to build technologies that they needed in a war that's coming, are going to finish anyway, against Jesus, Yeshua.